Hey folks, and welcome back to the FPL Tips YouTube channel for yet another video. In this video, I'll be taking you through some of the burning questions ahead of game week 9, as most of us are looking to wildcard this game week or the next game week, and there are some really nice fixtures and some really interesting questions which you all had asked in our Instagram. So let's directly get started, and I've selected the some of the questions which were asked. And the first one is coming to the Liverpool left back Shimikas. Firstly, let's talk about the context. Context is during the international break, playing for Scotland, Andy Robertson had dislocated his shoulder rather while playing for Scotland, and the timeline is there are rumors that the timeline could be 10 to 12 weeks, but it's really not clear right now. But this is what was reported, saying that if there's no operations, then he could be back in around 4 weeks. And if there is a surgery that is required to bring him back fully fit, then it would take around 10 to 12 weeks. This was reported by Liverpool journalist James Pierce. But let's look at it. There are two scenarios. So first of all, we are not really sure yet if Shimikas should start for Liverpool. But the next three to four fixtures, which reads Everton home, Nottingham Forest home, Luton away, and Brentford home, are fixtures where Liverpool will not want to compromise on the attacking left back that they would generally use, whether it's Shimikas or Roberts. Shimikas is capably a good attacking left back. The frailties for Shimikas comes in a defensive point of view, and these are fixtures where Liverpool will be expected to keep the ball more than not. So they probably would be expected to keep around 60 to 65% of the possession. So that being said, so that there is a case that Liverpool could even play Gomez at left back, but I don't see that happening because Liverpool do prefer that left wing to be occupied by a left-footed attacking left back. But going forward, maybe in tougher games there could be Joe Gomez playing as a centre back, but I don't see that happening. So that makes Shimikas definitely a good option. But is he a good option for game week 9? I'd say wait and watch because we are the one thing is we haven't heard from Klopp's press conference, which will be tomorrow, and we can listen to what Klopp says in the press conference is one thing, and the second thing is also, yeah, on Robertson's injury. What is the extent of it? Is he going to undergo surgery or not? If he's not going to undergo surgery, I don't like Simic as an option so much. I mean, there are fixtures to be taken, but he becomes a very short term option, and you might get stuck with him at some point, and yeah, so that's not a really ideal thing because there are transfers to be made elsewhere. If you think you can take a you are open to a short term defender, then you could still go for him even for 4 weeks. But again, just to be sure, let's wait and watch and see how Liverpool perform against Everton, how Shimikas performs against Everton, where he does play against Everton, and then there are still three good fixtures, and after Man City there are again good fixtures if Robertson is out for 10 to 12 weeks. So this is a turn of fixtures where Liverpool do have quite good fixtures, and you could also get the odd clean sheet. You could expect them to maybe keep a clean sheet or two, having Allison as the best goalkeeper in the league, and also I think keeping when Liverpool keep more of the position, that then and the opponent are not very attacking, very open like certain opponents are. That there will be a clean sheet here and there to be taken, and Shimikas will be on set pieces. Shimikas will have that attacking threat of going to the left flank like Robertson does. So he does appeal as a very good option at 4.4, who you can also, especially if you have four good playing defenders and he's one of them, and you can also rotate when Shimikas is not playing when you want to bench him. So yeah, that makes him a good option. But again, I'd say wait and watch, listen to Klopp's press conference, be sure that Robertson is out for 10 to 12 weeks, and then maybe make the move to Shimikas. And even if you're wildcarding, maybe I would fit him in, but I would wait for the press conference from Klopp, especially tomorrow, just to know how long the extent of Robertson's injury is. Coming to the next question, which you have encountered, is the best 1 week punt, because a lot of us are looking to wildcard in game week 10, and if that is the case, then there are like some nice fixtures in game week 9 which can be targeted for 1 week punts. We can look at fixtures like Liverpool are playing Everton. We know that City are playing Brighton. We know that Spurs are playing Fulham, and also Man United are playing Sheffield United. These are good fixtures for good attacks to cash in on. And yeah, I mean, so let's look at some of the best options. I'd say probably the best punt move would come in the Liverpool game, because you will get a team league, and if you see that Jota starts, because for example, for Nunez and Diaz, they are traveling from South America, and they have played more of their game than Jota played in his game. Jota played around 15 minutes in one game and around 25 to 30 minutes in the other game for Portugal. So Jota will be fresh. Jota will be hasn't played too much in Premier League, and he will be fresh and fit to start this game. So there are a lot of people expecting Jota to start this game, and if that's the case, as a 1 week punt, Jota is very much an option. Gakpo is also back in training, is something to note. But again, we should wait for Klopp's conference and listen to what Klopp does say. Looking at the other options, I really think if you don't have a Bruno or Rashford, they are definitely a good 1 week punt options. And if you do want another United option, then Rasmus Højlund is definitely an option at the forward, because he has had 4 big chances since he started games, and none of neither of Rashford or Fernandes have had big chances in that sense. So chances are falling to Højlund, and against a very weak, very poor Sheffield United team, especially at home. They conceded 9 to Newcastle in the last game. Sorry, 8 to Newcastle in the last game, and you could have a case of Hoyland getting a big attacking return in this game. So he could be a definitely a 1 week punt. And the third is, if Spurs, if you have Son and Madison and maybe not a defender, then you could triple up on Spurs attack. I wouldn't say it's the best of ideas to triple up, because Fulham are not the worst defense. They have improved over the last 3-4 weeks with Palhinha in the team. But or if you don't have Madison, he's definitely another one. But he's not very differential. If you do want to go differential elsewhere, maybe Phil Foden for City is a good option if he does play. If you have team leagues that he does start, and also options like Pedro Neto against Bournemouth could be a very decent option. But I'm not too skeptical. I'm a little bit skeptical over there, because they do play away from home. Bournemouth are a leaky defense, but Wolves do not create too many chances. And Neto and Hwang, both of them have been overperforming massively. So there are fixtures. I mean, if you don't have the budget, then I might go for a Neto or a Hwang, or maybe one of the Nottingham Forest midfielders, maybe a Gibbs White, for as an option, because Nottingham Forest play Luton, and there could be goals to be taken over there. So there are 1 week punts that are these are the 1 week punt that could probably come in the as an enabler option. But if you do have the cash, I think Jota does definitely stand out as an option. Højlund does definitely stand out as an option, and a Spurs mid could come in, or even a Foden can come in as decent options for this week. Other than that, I don't see fixtures that could cost. Maybe even if you don't have an Mbumo, I think he's back to being a differential now, and he could also be a decent 1 week punt. But anyways, ranking the 1 week punts, I'd say Jota, if he starts, is number one. Højlund would be number two. Then maybe if you don't have a Spurs option, then a extra, and then a third Spurs asset at number three. Then I'd probably say Gibbs White, a Foden, then Gibbs White, and then probably a Wolves midfielder, either Neto or Hwang. Either would be fine. That's how I think it does stand rank for me when it comes to the 1 week punts. Now coming up to a very important question, which is I briefly also addressed this last week, whether to go without Haaland or not. Is it viable? Now I'm actually coupling Haaland with Trippier over here, because you can only go with one of them. If you go with Haaland in your draft, then you would not be able to go with Trippier. And the other way around, or you might not go with both of them also, and you still have a good team with, because there are players like Salah, Saka, Son, Madison, Watkins, Bowen. These are all very good options, especially in the next few weeks where Haaland's fixtures are not the greatest, and there are for West Ham, for Aston Villa, for Liverpool, for Arsenal, there are great fixtures. So and you can also fit in a Trippier. Newcastle fixtures, their best has passed them, but they still have decent fixtures. They have Crystal Palace at home, Wolves away, where a Trippier could easily come back and haul. They could keep clean sheets still. So Trippier still does look like a very good option. But just looking at it in isolation, can Alvarez cover for a Haaland? Generally you would say no, but him being 0.7 million cheaper, and the fixtures, the good fixtures being Bournemouth at home and Brighton at home and Bournemouth at home, it does really call a case. But if you do have a dilemma over here, then maybe I'd keep Haaland this week and wildcard next week. If your team is not too bad, then I'd say captain Haaland in the Brighton home fixture. Then you just have a Bournemouth fixture to hide behind the sofa. So you can remove him when City play Man United, and then you can have a front three of maybe a Watkins, Darwin, and Alvarez, which does look like a decent front three, and can cover and can keep ticking along. And the one thing about Haaland is there are fixtures where he could still go and score goals. There's a Tottenham home at home, Liverpool at home. These are fixtures there where he could still go score goals, but that haul potential could probably reduce. The ones where we find him getting about 12 or 13 or maybe even 15, 16 points, and that really affects our rank and brings it down. And that is really not that I don't think would be too many fixtures. So if you have other strikers like Watkins who could tick along like Haaland would in those difficult fixtures, then just going cheap makes a lot of sense right now. But Brighton home fixture is probably not the right time to remove Haaland. And coming to Trippier, I think, as I said, the Newcastle's fixtures are the best fixtures are past them, but Trippier is still the best option from Newcastle. So if you do have the budget, if you want to remove Haaland, then Trippier is probably definitely a good option to go with. But again, I would say it's not the end of the world to go without him, because uh, there are like there are not going to be 12 point or even the 15 point 18 point hauls which he has got, and he probably would get an assist or a clean sheet, and then that would add in bonus points. And he's probably going to be the best defender in the league even in the next few game weeks. But being almost 7 million, you can use that, and definitely the midfield where Salah, Saka, and Son are looking great, like great options in the coming weeks, for their good fixtures as well. So coming there, I mean, if you don't have Holland and get fitting in a Trippier would be easy. And if you do have a Haaland, you could sacrifice on a Trippier and go for a very budgety back three. So that's where I stand with this. And as I said, I would advise to captain Haaland this week and go for the wild card next week if that's the case. If removing Haaland is the problem, and your team does look decent, because you can have, I think Haaland is definitely the best captain this week, so you can still just go ahead and captain him. It's not going to be a big problem. The final, I mean, the last but one question for this week would be midfield enablers to go with in your wildcards. And the previous question where I did say Haaland and Trippier. If you want to fit in both and still have a Salah and a Saka or a Son or Madison, and that means you need to have an enabler. Or say this as well. If you want to fit in Salah, Saka, Son, Watkins, and Haaland, these are five players you want to fit in. Then the sixth attacker or seventh attacker should probably be an enabler. And there are few options that are emerging. I wouldn't say they are the best of options. If you would like to sacrifice one of either Watkins or Son or Saka, I mean, just remove Son and go for Madison instead, or remove Watkins and have a Bowen or another cheaper Mitoma, or even Alvarez in the strike spot, and to keep with the budget and the combinations. I think that would still be better. But if you still feel like you want all the five of Salah, Saka, Son, Haaland, and Watkins, then looking at the enablers. Gordon, I think, as he does play for Newcastle, is probably the best option over here. 5.6, 5.7. I think he comes at a very nice price bracket. Newcastle have decent fixtures, not the best of fixtures, but they still have decent fixtures. And Barnes is out. The main thing is Barnes is out. But the also one drawback would be Europe, and now that they've beaten PSG comprehensively, they probably would want to attack the European games a little more. So, but they are still playing well in the league, and you would expect Gordon to start most of the games and maybe even play 90 every now and then when he has it in his legs. So he does look like the best option out of these. After that, I'd probably say Cole Palmer, because he is the cheapest of them all, and he's on penalties, and he plays for a Chelsea side who are relatively good at well in attack. I think they have had a very rough start to the season, but as time goes, I think they would grow. Again, the only drawback probably here would be the fixtures, which are not the greatest, and that means you would not want to play Cole Palmer week in week out, and we haven't seen him enough to judge his numbers without the penalties in consideration. If it was there, then I would still play him in the difficult fixtures as well, and to even if he gets an assist, that would be really valuable for the price bracket he comes at. But there are a few more uncertainties coming with Palmer, and the fixtures are a little tricky. So that's why I think Palmer doesn't stand out as the best option. He probably comes second over here. And the third one, probably, because he's cheaper, I'd I'd go with Souček. I'd rank him at 3, because West Ham have a very good run of fixtures, and Souček is again playing like the 2021 Souček, and that really appeals in Souček's um, yeah, into that plays into Souček's hands, and he will be a threat when it comes to set pieces as well. And there are Ward-Prowse and him are also getting up as a number 10. They're taking turns to get and play as the number 10 in the team. So there might be a lot of returns coming for Souček, and at again 5 million price bracket, he does come at a very good enabler. And if you want to, the problem is you might want to substitute him again more often than not, and you don't know which picture to play with. This is the same problem we faced in the season where he performed so well. So the question is, are you ready to play Souček every week? If so, then I think he might be a decent enabler to go with. But if not, then you might want to ask the question, which particular week you'd want to play Souček, and then look at the combinations you have and the fixtures you probably would play him. So he does stand at third in this list for me. The final two options in the enabler price bracket are Hwang and Neto, who play for Wolves, who have probably been the best performing midfielders from this price bracket, but they have overperformed massively. I think they have around 1.7 to 2 as their XGIs so far this season, and they have both returned. Neto has returned 7 goal involvements, and Hwang has it returned 6. That's a crazy, massive overperformance. They could still tick along. They could still continue performing well, which is why we are even discussing about these options. But you'd say you couldn't if you say you can't expect them to continue performing, then I'd say that's a very valid argument as well, because they have been overperforming, and that means that there will be a balancing in that, and that they could start getting a few game weeks where they don't perform too well. So That's why they rank at fourth and fifth. And between them, I'd probably say Neto, because he makes everything happen in Wolves. He's creating a lot of chances, and he is also a little bit of goal threat. He's actually underperforming his goals, but he's massively overperforming his assists. And Huang has had a 1.7 xG and he scored 5 goals. So, and he's not too central. I think QnA has been missing a lot of chances, and that's why Huang has been putting away his, like, getting a few goals. And once QnA gets the goals, then maybe probably Huang's goals do dry out. So that's why Huang would probably rank at fifth. Finally, final question, which is a very popular question, which is a question we spoke about previously in the preview as well. We had the same three candidates for captaincy last week, and again captaincy for this week. Salah has Everton at home, which is a 12:30 kickoff, and then 3 p.m. kickoff UK time is Haaland's game against Brighton, and then a Monday night kickoff for Son. So these are the three best options, which a lot of people are debating to captain. And for me, I think Haaland does stand out as the best option this week. One is he's very hungry now. I think a few weeks of not performing well and City losing 2 games back. I think there will be a bounce back. There will be a bounce back coming, and he will be raring to go. And you wouldn't want to bet against such a Haaland in this week. The second is Rodri's back. When Rodri is there, City perform much better. And City are probably the best team in the world when Rodri plays. And I think they will come back to playing like the best team in the world this week. And the third thing, I mean, by far, Haaland has the best expected goal involvement still, and especially goals. Yeah, and that makes him the best option whenever there's a discussion and there are good fixtures. And the fourth one is the fixture. Brighton are not a great defense, and they will be open. They will be unlike Everton and Fulham. They will be going at City, and that will play into Haaland's hands, because City will keep the ball fairly enough still to go through Brighton. Present Haaland would get a lot of chances, and you saw him last season in the same fixture. He scored a brace. So I think Haaland comfortably is the best captain this week, and probably second comes Salah. Even though he plays the 12:30 fixture, I think Salah is in great form. Salah has been involved in a lot of what the good things that have been happening at Liverpool, as he has historically as well. And it's a good fixture for him. Everton at home and at the derby, and I think yeah, fairly good captaincy option, and I think he stands at second. Son is third for two reasons. One is Fulham are probably a good defense again, and it's not a game where it plays into Son's hand. They're not going to be open. They're going to be quite defensive. And Madison is probably a better option for a captaincy, even better than Son, because Madison will be almost having the ball almost all the time. So that means so. I mean, there could be a Son goal or two, but the chances of it is not very high. Like a game which is much more open and plays into Son's hands. And the second reason is he's been playing through injury, and he's not been playing 90 minutes. He's only been playing 75 minutes, which is fine as an option, but not as captaincy option. When your other two options are 90-minute men, are also very explosive. Son could be still explosive, but again, he's played through the injury for a few weeks now, and he could also miss out every now and then, or he could have a benching and he could come on for a 1 pointer, and that's a risk. So that's not a risk worth taking when especially when Haaland has a fixture like Brighton at home, when Salah has a fixture like Everton at home. So if you don't have a Haaland, I probably think Salah is the best captain. If you do have Haaland, I think he's hands down the best captain this week. I'm maybe not hands down, but still he's comfortably the best captain whenever there's a debate, and when he has a good fixture in hand. So that's with the questions for this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, please hit the like button and hit subscribe. And as more subscribers grow, we would be trying to come up with much more content in our channel. And yeah, good luck for the game week 9, and good luck for all the wildcarders. Good luck for all the Haaland, Salah, and Son captainers. And let me know what you think in the comment section. What were there any questions that need to be addressed that I missed out on, or any other thoughts about your team, you have any other questions, please do let us know in the comments. Thank you.